Welcome to Art Speak with Kate. Do you ever go into the local art gallery? When you're traveling, do you make a point of checking out the local art galleries just to pass the time or part of a shopping spree? Do art galleries excite and inspire you or disgust and frustrate you? Art is all around us, and art galleries open our eyes to see things in different ways. The Royston wrecks, for instance, are they ugly wrecks from the past, or are they significant art forms of our cultural heritage? Galleries exhibit ideas without social barriers or language barriers. Art can be exhilarating. It can wow you or frustrate you. Either way, the aim is to make an impression. If you feel annoyed, possibly the art is affecting you more deeply. Possibly the art is exposing scars and horrors we prefer to neglect and forget. Here in the Comox Valley, we have many diverse number of galleries catering to various tastes and showing different artists' work and ideas. Art to admire, to consider, to collect. Let's start with new emerging artists graduating from North Island College. Linda Perron, Director of Faculty of Fine Arts, invites us to view the art show at North Island College.
We consider our program a foundational program in terms of foundation moving into a university or degree program. So most institutions will have their first 2 years as teaching you skill building, creative thinking processes so that you spend your third and fourth year really expanding your artistic practice and being able to work independently and to be able to develop your professional portfolio or your career path in terms of where you're wanting to go. So when I talk about a foundation program, we're a studio-based program, so students will learn fundamentals in composition and design, spatial relationship, 3D. They'll learn fabrication, they'll learn foundational skills in painting, drawing, ceramics, printmaking, sculpture, photography, digital media, and moving on from there. Right?
Many of the art students will continue their studies elsewhere in Canada, in the US. Their work as professional artists will often become edgy. Artists need to think independently, to be creative, to communicate new ideas to people. Good art is often new and unfamiliar and edgy. It's when the artist takes a risk to say something new that it becomes exciting.
There are no guarantees anymore in terms of success in employment. Motivation is going to be what makes an individual successful. And a student who comes through an arts-based education or a visual arts program learns really valuable, powerful skills in critical thinking, creative problem solving, adaptability, motivation. To thrive in a program like a visual arts program, you have to be willing to take risk, to take steps to move yourself forward, to be able to time manage, to be able to complete projects independently. And those are all incredibly valuable skills that sets a student apart from a very rigorous program of rote learning.
The Comox Valley Art Gallery in Courtenay seeks to bring and expose new art forms of expression. Angela Somerset, the curator of the Comox Valley Art Gallery, welcomes us to CVAG.
Well, our niche is arts-based research, so we're really working with professional artists, whether they're emerging artists or mid-career artists or our senior artists in the community. And so it's a great opportunity for people to come together at different levels of their professional practice. So on June 2nd, we're partnering with the Comox Valley Arts Council on a theme entitled Image to Text to Image. And it's our community outreach project where we work together to open the space for people to respond to this theme of working with images and working with text. Some artists will do independent work and some artists will work together making collaborative work. Art is integrated in people's lives, so we really work hard to create thematic interconnectivity where there's possibilities for these relationships to develop. So we might have a thematic exhibition, and part of that exhibition is a workshop, and it's a zero barrier workshop where people come out and work with professional artists around a thematic that connects with the show. So it gets people talking between disciplines and working in different sectors.
If splashing colour and paints isn't your thing, maybe you'd like to play with clay to build and pinch and pull clay and get all fired up with pottery. Alan Burgess, potter, invites us to the Potter's Place on 5th and Cliff to see the pottery by the late Robin Hopper.
This is a special exhibition of Robin Hopper's work. He is a renowned Canadian potter, worldwide, known worldwide. The aspects of his work that are really interesting are the fact that he wrote several books. One of them, Ceramic Spectrum, is a glaze book and really teaches you a great deal about glazes, how to make glazes, how to layer things, and he was a real expert in terms of glazes. And so his contribution over his lifetime was huge. This one, this is an example of some of his glazes. This glaze is a lidded jar. It's made in two parts. This glaze is a metallic glaze. It's made from combining copper and manganese and a little bit of feldspar, and basically heating it up to cone 10, which is 1300 degrees Celsius, produces a new kind of metal. And so you see this gold that happens, that's the manganese and the copper combining to make this new color. But basically it's a metal glaze that's on this part, so it's really quite unique. This other one, this is his Southwest series. There is no glaze on here. This is what's called a terra sigillata, which is a very, very fine precipitated slip. It's the same techniques that the ancient Greeks did in their classical ware. So this is a fine clay precipitated out, made into these very, very fine particles, put on and then burnished, and then painted over the top, and then fired again to cone 10. So really quite unique. It's beautiful texture. It's really quite smooth, but matte. So quite a significant person in terms of what he accomplished and what he taught. And lots of people doing workshops around the world in Australia, New Zealand, China, Japan, Korea, all over the United States.
Did he teach at North Island College?
No, but he did do a workshop up there, and we still have a lot of his pots. He made a huge number of pots in 2 days.
A 1,000 years ago, people in the Comox Valley lived comfortably in the Valley of Plenty and made art to adorn their longhouses and ceremonial gowns. The eagle is the spirit of the sky. The whale symbolizes wisdom and strength. Today at the IHAS Comox First Nations Gallery on Dyke Road, you'll find original art, paintings, printed clothing, carved masks and silver jewellery, telling of stories and legends, all made by local artists.
Well, IHAS Gallery has been open since 1995, so if it wasn't for the people in the community, as in the Comox Valley community, we wouldn't be here, because it's the people in the Comox Valley that support IHAS Gallery and the Comox First Nation, as we're owned by the Comox First Nation. And they bring all their friends, their family, they buy their birthday gifts, they buy their anniversary gifts, retirement gifts. It's the support from the Comox Valley that really keeps IHAS Gallery going.
I love meeting new people. I love being able to share my culture with people that come in here from all over the world. And just, it also comes from my background too, because my family is family of artists, and me being able to share all of the culture is really nice.
Every artist that brings us something, they have a story. Sometimes they'll bring us one where they've got a specific story with it. We deal directly with as many of our First Nations artists as we can. We, of course, with the other companies that we're hooked up with, it's because of the artists that have said, oh, I'm dealing with them, here's their card, so we'll bring them in. That's how we find all the other products that we're bringing in if we're not dealing directly with the artists. But with our carvings, with our jewelry, with all of the handmade stuff, we deal directly with the artists, and they'll come in and bring us what they have. And we have a nice chat and go over the pieces they had and make sure the staff all know what they're about so we can pass that on to the customer that's interested in it. And then you have some of our artists that can put stones on their jewelry, and Chris Cook is one of them. Because we're right on Vancouver Island, the three nations we're surrounded by is the Kwakwaka'wakw, the Coast Salish, and the Chalnuth. But you're going to find mostly Kwakwaka'wakw in here. You will find others, but they don't travel this way that often. But that's how the artists that travel to us come to see us. Come in, they'll bring in, it's mainly from, so it's Northwest Coast art you're getting in here. We do pick up a little bit from other nations when they're coming through, but not very often.
Many people retire to the Comox Valley to take up art as a hobby, to relax after a busy career. They bring to their art lifelong understanding of what matters and years of experience developing their talent and perspective of life. The Pearl Ellis Gallery in Comox is run solely by volunteers, and their director, Hans Peterson, shows us one of their local exhibits.
Well, one of the most exciting things from my point of view is the fact that we're changing the gallery around, changing the look of the gallery. And the way that we've done it so far is by repainting the gallery itself. And now we're busy rewiring it, so we're adding track lights. We're adding track lights. This one is almost complete, except they have to be spaced yet.
So it's a new look for art in Comox.
That's correct. It's been here for a long time, not necessarily in this location, but Pearl Ellis Gallery has been around for a number of years. My biggest challenge is to bring the gallery into 2017 and 2018. I think one of the uniqueness of Pearl Ellis is the fact that it's run totally with volunteers. There is no one that gets a remuneration of any kind. And I think that's quite remarkable. The board of directors, which consists of 10 people, they work at it quite diligently to make sure that you don't have an open spot somewhere halfway during the season.
Do pop into your local art gallery. You'll be inspired at what you find. You may be inspired to pick up a paintbrush or a lump of clay and join the local art bandwagon. In the Comox Valley, I am Kate Brown.